Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and in this video we are going to be diving into a retro review. There is a classic French extreme movie coming out now with a new cut, a new version to release into our brains. Oh my goodness, we are going to be diving into Irreversible. Gaspar Noé is a filmmaker all of us know and love. Some of us despise him. People like me really respect this person as the king of extreme. He knows exactly the type of movie to make that shocks you, that disgusts you, that lives within you forever. For me, Irreversible was one of those movies. I saw this years and years ago and it completely changed me. It sent me on a path down to the world of extreme cinema. I would have never seen like High Tension, Martyrs, Audition, Ichi the Killer, Serbian Film, Necromantic, all of these extreme cinema. This is the door opening to a lot of extreme cinema fans. But there is a new version out. It is called The Straight Cut. Gaspar Noé decided to make a new version of this film. This one is now in chronological order. Irreversible is infamously in reverse. You get to see all the actions at the end, and we slowly figure out the beginning of the story. It's kind of a crazy story element, and it was pretty iconic when it came out, though a lot of people found it to be a bit gimmicky. I personally am kind of in the gimmick category. I like the story. I think it's an interesting tale of revenge. It's brutal, it's uncomfortable, but sometimes I was just like, I could have seen this movie the normal way, the straight cut, and been fine with it and still had the same experience. Now that I've seen it, I can confirm those feelings. I actually like the straight cut a bit more than the original. There's still the artistic camera movements. There's still the intense performances from like Vincent Cassel and Monica Bellucci, but there is a cohesion to the story now. There's an actual more like straightforward narrative that I actually think serves the story well. It's a now classic revenge story. They tried to reinvent the wheel by putting it in backwards and all that jazz, where this one I thought was straightforward, extreme, and in your face. It still impacted me, and it still made me love this movie as much as I did when it originally came out. Normally, I would say Pierre and Marcus are two men out for revenge for the brutal rape and attack of a woman they love named Alex. But now, telling it in reverse, we're watching a story about a woman named Alex figuring out her pregnancy, trying to figure out her love life, but also being attacked and brutally sexually assaulted by a man who, the infamous gay character of this, who is horrible, and then we have the whole gay club scene at the end. But yes, now we're seeing the story in a more straightforward narrative. It's a more straightforward revenge tale, and I really like that. I actually thought the story of Marcus and Pierre felt to me more impactful now. I was actually able to feel for Alex. I mean, I always felt for her character so much. I mean, Monica Bellucci, especially during that attack scene, it's iconic work. It's memorable work. It's work that I cannot believe a artist put herself out there like that. But I found the story to be more easy to follow. I was more invested in the revenge angle. I think because we got to see them first. We got to see that wonderful opening scene where it's just like them, reading the book, which is usually at the end of the movie, and then that one scene where they're kind of talking about the pregnancy. I feel like since knowing that information at the beginning of the film, it made me journey through the story a bit different. It made me feel different things. I still hated the villain, but I was actually being able to what is the revenge successful? Is it where I thought they should have went? Just a lot of questions that are presented in the original cut are still here, but my mind started wondering in a different way. I still have issues with the end of this movie. It definitely gets a bit, I wouldn't say homophobic, but it definitely gets a bit hard to watch. It always reminds me of reading the It book. I think Stephen King's a hell of a writer, but boy, does he put a lot of slurs in that It book, and it makes it an uncomfortable reading. Not that I think we should cancel them, or it's too, I would like to woke it up or anything, but the intent is to make you uncomfortable, and this makes me uncomfortable. The end of this movie, the attack scene, I have nothing wrong. I mean, the guy is gross, maybe deserves it, but there's the slurs that they're throwing at him, the whole the hatred for the gay community that feels it to the end. It's still there. It's still hard to watch, but that's all of Irreversible. That's what Noah does. so well as a filmmaker. It makes you uncomfortable, presents you with topics and themes and choices that these characters make, and we have to just live with them as viewers, and we know what we're getting into, and that's what Irreversible is. I only wish I could have changed the narrative now and had this be an Alex revenge story and see Monica Bellucci actually get her own, like, I'm gonna slice and kill and dice, but that's very 70s exploitation. That's grindhouse, not French extreme cinema, which sometimes isn't favorable to gays, women, or anybody. Actually, nobody is safe when in French extreme movies. When this premiered at the Venice Film Festival a couple years ago, Noel said he likes that this is a clearer story. It's clearer and darker. Though we also have the theme of time destroys everything. I like that this movie was not lost in translation by changing the style, by recutting it. I was also able to watch the 2K restoration of the original film. Loved that. It looks great, it feels great, it sounds great, but this film, I really like the straight cut. I'm really amazed that there was a filmmaker like this who saw the gimmick, who saw that he presented a choice that makes it a harder viewing for his audience, but says, what if I made it easier? The movie's still not, like he says it, the actions of this movie are not irreversible, but my decision to do it the anti-clockwise can be redone and can be fixed. And again, I really applaud the filmmaker. I applaud the people who are releasing this. I'm just really happy this gets a chance, one, to have a reevaluation, to re-see this movie. I've never been able to review this before, but now with this new straight cut and the 2K restoration, it is time to talk about it. It's a time to talk about extreme French cinema. We love it on this channel. I've done so many craziest movies of all time lists, and I love that this one still makes an impact. I have seen so much extreme cinema, but some of them really don't hit the way Irreversible hits you. That is it for my review of Irreversible, the straight cut, and also a little bit of that 2K restoration. I highly recommend you see this. If this is playing in a cinema near you, check it out. If you also get a chance to buy it, if you're an extreme cinema fan, this is a must-have. Really good film, really fun director, a really cool revisit of a film a lot of us remember as Extreme 101. What did you think of this review? What do you think of this movie? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth, because we make videos like this every single week. Alright everyone, let's talk about Gaspar Noé, let's talk about Irreversible, let's talk about extreme cinema down below.